Welcome to Chasing Pars, the podcast where fairways meet fresh takes. Whether you're grinding for birdies or just trying to avoid double bogeys, we're here to break down the game, share stories, and help you chase those elusive pars. So grab your clubs and let's tee off.
Hello and welcome back to Out Here Chasing Pars. We have a very special episode with a very special guest. We have Mr. Kieran Mulhall, who many of you will recognise from the Rough Cut podcast. Kieran, thank you so much for giving me your time, sir.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend we've not been speaking off air and ask you how you are after a proper conversation. So we'll just get straight into it. And I'm going to ask you probably the most boring question for people now, like listening. But golf for you, where and when did it start? Were you a junior golfer?
I was, yeah. I was. So I was 10 years old. Before that, I played a lot of cricket, a lot of football, but before that, I was and then I went to go see my godfather. My godfather was Irish, so we went and but he lives in the UK, and we went over and we went to a driving range. First time really hitting a ball. I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. So that day after he bought me a set of like starter set golf clubs. I remember it to this day. They were Jack Nicklaus golf clubs, I think they were called Nicholas golf clubs. So it's great. Still got the set now. I'm a very sentimental person, so I keep anything that has an ounce of like memory. I keep it. So I've still got all the clubs and everything. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. And did you play right through, or were you like one of the typical guys that kind of, I'm not sure how old you are, but like once like the 17, 18 and the university and the drinking days, did kind of golf get parked aside, or did you kind of keep?
I've been pretty. I think there was 1 year where I didn't play much because I thought I'd go. I sort of switched over back to football because when I some junior sort of sections aren't necessarily like this, but my local course down here in Dorset, I was one of like six members, six junior members. So like in my sort of year and year below, year above, like didn't have many people my sort of age playing golf. So I kind of felt like a little bit of the odd one out when I first started. I was a bit like, oh, is this the right sport to be doing? So there was definitely 1 year where I played more football than golf. I just loved it. I've loved it from the day I've done it, and I still have such a bug now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think you're probably living most people's dream as well. It's getting to work in golf in whatever capacity, and obviously like the modern age having the role that you get to be in, but without being a professional golfer, at least you're getting to play golf without the stress and hassle of making cuts.
Yeah, definitely. Like it kind of. So I got down to like so I got into county golf. So I got into county golf when I was sort of 14 for Dorset, and at the time I was doing all right. I was keeping up with the other guys that was in the county and was all right with that. And then I went to a couple of like open events, and you just sort of open junior events, and you just saw like where. So I was 40, like at 14 years old. There's like people off, there's other guys off scratch, off +1, +2. You're like, whew. But to make that shift of being a 4 handicap to then go into their level was just something that I really struggled with. But
again, like it's the when we talk about golf and the levels to golf, isn't it? Like the going from like single figure to, as you say, you're at 4, to then go from 4 to scratch, and then you're talking like scratch to, and then I'll use like the content creators like Pete, like Rick, like even like your Grants and all that, and then from even that level going to pros like this, there's such a jump when you get down to, especially the better, like it seems to be a bigger jump.
Yeah, it's like I actually saw a really good post about it the other day, like a visual kind of representation of like what it looks like to go from like a from a 28 handicap all the way up to a pro, and it was a vision of a mountain, and in like the foreground was like 28 handicap, a little bit ahead of it was like a 14 handicap, a little bit above it was a 5, and then there was a massive jump to scratch, and then there was an even massive one where the mountain at the end was a tour pro. Like the difference is just, it's just unbelievable. And I've been lucky enough with the work I'm in to see elite golf, and it's just crazy.
Well, that's like I've tried to I'm like we spoke of, and I'm a huge fanboy of YouTube golf, probably more than tour golf, which like you've probably discussed on. Like I think a lot of people who got into golf later will probably more enjoy watching your Pete's, your Brian Bros and all that more than tour stuff. But like I've had friends kind of watch like YouTube stuff with me, and they're like, well, why are these guys like a Grant, for example? Like, why are they not on tour? I'm like, they genuinely wouldn't even make cuts most in the smallest events.
Yeah, it's like Grant is a very steady scratch sort of golfer and a really good one. And then you kind of go to the interesting one is obviously the Brian Bros in the sense of you've got Wes and George. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you, and Pete will say exactly the same. That like when you actually watch them, George is the better golfer. Like George is the actual better golfer for sure. Like to look at, he's straight with a driver, he's great. Whereas like off the tee, Wesley, the first time I ever filmed with Wes, he was all over the place. He was left, it was right. It was a two-way miss. It was just like, I was like, this guy's one. Like, I was like, what? But then he'd somehow find a way to just, make a score and stuff like that. Whereas George was straight down the middle, straight on the green. It's like, it was different. But, Wes just has clearly this sort of
mentality.
As soon as it's game time, bam, like he's locked in sort of thing.
It's going to sound very silly, but like, and Wes kind of jokes about like the comparisons in his videos when he's mucking about, but he very much has a Tiger-like mentality. Like, not so much the ability, but his mentality, as you say, and again, no disrespect to George. George is a fantastic, but he's quite fragile mentally. Like if somebody, even Wes, chirping at him, whereas Wes just stands up on a tee. It's like he doesn't care and just loves golf. And I think more people probably need to be like Wes at amateur level than most things. So
when we went to, we were lucky to go to the BMW event in Germany, which they played in.
Yes,
we played the Pro-Am the day before with them, and we filmed with them there. And the day after, we just went and watched them. They both played in the same group. Did they play in the same group, or did they play in different groups? No, they might have played in different groups. But we went over to Wes first, and he's like, got his game face on. But as soon as he saw Pete, like came over and said hello, then straight back into it, game mode,
just
hitting a driver straight. Whereas George was like, you could see George was like, like really trying to keep it together a little. Whereas, so that's the difference. That is the absolute difference of it, is the mental. And I reckon so many people can probably relate to that in terms, well, from like, when you get to like that next level, whether it be from a 28 handicap going down to a to get you to that next step, or it's, at the other end of the spectrum where it's a really good, plus scratch golfer, getting the next step, which is going on to the tour. And it's just, it really is different. It's,
mentality is massive. Like, obviously ability is so important, but I feel like I see it in a lot of people. Mentality is kind of where, especially match play wise, which we see a lot of in the content world space. But but back on yourself, like, you mentioned like your first set of clubs and how you've kept them. Nicholas, one golf clubs are like my favorite. I change my clubs more than your employer. The only difference is I have to pay for my own. what's in the bag at the minute? What's your club's top to bottom? What are you playing with?
So yeah, top to bottom. So driver is a Ping G30 Max. Ping G30 Max, 430 Max. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, like I need as much. I struggle a little bit off the tee, and the Ping is just the Ping's great for just like a bit of help, a little bit of help with.
They're cheat codes, aren't they?
Yeah. My Freewood is one of the first clubs I ever bought, which I still have in the bag today, which is a Ping G 25. So that's
okay.
So that's like 12, 13 years old now.
Yeah.
So I remember knowing that when I was up at the course, at my home course, Ping were down for like a weekend, and I worked in a local restaurant, sort of just doing washing up and stuff like that, and I saved up all that money just to buy that Freewood. It was like 150, 180 quid, but got like tested for it, and but so I still have it today. So yeah, and then I've got a Strixon ZV2 iron, ZX driving iron, and then I go 4 to pitching wedge in ZX7s, Strixon.
Okay. Yep.
Love them. I luckily got them through Pete. Those clubs are great. I've never had a forged set of golf clubs, and never really understood what kind of like the actual understanding of what forged was and all this, and like what difference it made. But like hitting it for the first time and striking it well, it feels like you haven't even hit them. It's a really weird experience, but that's really, really, really cool. And then I've got some Cleveland RX 6 wedges, 50, 56, 60, and then I've got an Odyssey. Yeah, and then an Odyssey 2-ball putter. Yeah,
the original one or the newer model one?
A little bit of a newer one. I don't know if I've got it. No, I haven't got it with me here, but it's kind of like it's not like that. Yeah, the classic one. It's got a bit more wider, sort of more of a block, and then got the 2 balls in the middle there.
I got yeah.
So it's
How good are the wedges? It's the same. I took mine out, my Clevelands, and I had got Vokeys last year because I just wanted Vokeys. And my Clevelands are back in the bag after 5 rounds. Yeah, and it's
so we've. I absolutely love the Clevelands. They are fantastic. I did so a couple of weeks ago. We were in America doing some filming. And Pete is sponsored by Titleist, and we filmed with Bob Vokey. So
I just finished watching the podcast.
Yeah. So we did an interview him, and I don't know if you I'm trying to like edge my way into like I was trying to ask him, can you any chance of
Can I get a set, please?
Yeah. And I was just like sort of saying, I'm quite steep on my wedges. I like to really dig them out. What do you reckon the best device is? And he said, which is perfectly, I love the response of it. I was really fishing for some tips and stuff like that. But he said, go see your local pro. And I thought, that's
worth a try.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm not saying like I'm fanboy on Pete, but my last set of irons were the Ping Blueprints.
Yeah.
And then my current set of irons are the Titleist T150s. Now, if you could tell me Pete's last 2 set of irons, please.
That would be the Ping Blueprints.
And, So you can see what way I went. As I say, I went back to the Cleveland wedges. But as far like club wise, obviously you've got your own. But how much fun is it for you? Because I'm guessing, like, obviously you don't get to keep all the clubs for yourself, but I'm guessing you get to like a lot. People get sent like a lot of clubs and get to have access to a lot. Do you like get to play about with them and like in the studio and stuff and that as well, and get to see all these?
Yeah, we definitely do have. It's one of the real luxuries of the job where, we don't get really sent as many clubs now because we're with Titleist.
Yes, aye.
But before, sort of January comes about and it is a second Christmas, like
Yeah.
literally, like, everything, because we used to do these really sort of in-depth, comprehensive reviews of each of the drivers that came through, and any like cool new irons that was coming through. In terms of myself, like I really don't like to change.
Okay.
So I'm a real, like, the other guys in the office like to change. They change about me. I'm a real, like, as soon as I like something, I
That's
really,
it.
I really struggle to like get it out of the bag. So yeah, but it's definitely like, yeah.
I wish I could be like you. Like, it would save me a lot of money and probably save me a lot of shots. But yeah, I like changing too much.
No,
You
yeah.
mentioned you worked in a kitchen before. How you saved up your thingy. When did you, like, start working for Pete, and then, like, when did you know that you were going into that type of world? Like, what was the change?
So it stemmed from, I started off, I left school at 18, and I didn't go to university or anything like that.
Okay.
I didn't due to the fact I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't fully know, like, I wasn't set on something that I wanted to do. So I went and worked in the kitchen in a sort of gastro pub. It was really great. So I did that for 2.5 years. And I was really looking to learn, and I thought that could be something I could be interested in. But just it was sort of, time went on, and I really got into YouTube, and I really got into watching a guy called Casey Neistat. If you know Casey Neistat, so he's an American, lives in New York, and he like does filmmaking and vlogs.
Okay.
So he made a vlog every single day for 800 days straight, and which was crazy. And all of his, and they weren't just sort of like, just selfies. They were like a vlog. They were films. They were about his life, about tips and tricks about photography, videography, loads of different things. And then we. So what I decided to do is, I was like, right, I'm absolutely falling in love with this, and I want to go and give it a go myself. So I quit my job with in the kitchen, Then I went to, one of my things that I've always wanted to do was go to loads of football grounds. So I did my version of traveling, and I went to France, Spain, Germany, Holland, and Italy. So I saw AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, all this sort of stuff. And I went to the cities and I filmed it, and filmed the game and all this sort of stuff, and just sort of tried to get my head around filmmaking, around vlogging, around just the whole thing of producing a video, and working out how to edit and stuff like that. So I was doing that, and then I needed to, because I didn't have a job after that, I needed to kind of I needed to make money out of this to live and all this sort of stuff. So I contacted loads of businesses in my local area and said, do you guys need any work? And a couple of like fitness people took me up, some restaurants, and I was sort of doing some client work for them, which was really, really cool. And then COVID hit. And then I worked for Morrison's as a delivery driver, which was during a time where we were locked inside. I was a delivery driver, and going to see people and deliver their shopping where they had not seen any. You were the only person you saw in the day, and they were so happy to chat to you. And I love talking to people anyway, so it was a really great, fulfilling experience. And then I saw that Pete was hiring for a social media manager back in 2021, and I was like, oh well, I mean, I get, because I was kind of looking around for jobs a little bit, like sort of seeing what sort of videography jobs were out there at the time anyway. But you kind of get a little bit like nervous because it says like all these criteria things and all this sort of stuff, and I was a bit like, you know, I don't know if I'm remotely qualified for this, but I'll just give it a go. And I sent in my show reel, and I sort of little personal video to Pete about, like, you know, what I do and how passionate I am about golf and filmmaking. And yeah, got the job as a social media manager back in 2021.
And so at that stage, obviously, like, golf was kind of starting to blow up. I wouldn't say the YouTube scene had kind of blown up at that point. Like, I would still say it was only really your niche. Like Rick obviously had kind of, but even the YouTube side, I wouldn't say was there.
Yeah.
So did you know much of Pete prior to the application?
Yeah.
Obviously, you knew who he was, but like, had you seen much of the stuff in that as well?
Yeah. So I'd watched him. I watched kind of back in the day was him and Rick and me and my golf. Mark Crossfield. You know, for the sort of the, because even though I don't like changing clubs, I loved listening to all the different clubs. Yeah, I loved so I watched quite a lot of his reviews on stuff. So yeah, no, I definitely knew who he was, and I was very nervous doing the interview. You know, I was very I did a little bit of a mock because I've never really done I don't know what the saying is, but like I didn't really do like a proper interview before, and it was on because it was COVID, sort of COVID time. It was all online, and I did a little bit of a mock interview with my family before and stuff like that. But as soon as he came on the screen, like actually seeing him there, I was like, Jesus, I was really, really, really blown away. So I just like muted him in the corner there, so I couldn't look at him. So I never looked at him during the interview. I just sort of like minimized his video, so I couldn't see him. But I was lucky to get the job, and then I moved up to Manchester.
Well, it definitely paid off, and like without like kind of blowing smoke, it's a great addition. Like I love the team. Like obviously it's about Pete, and I think everybody watched it, but I truly enjoy the podcast when you're all, because the fact that you're all involved, you, Jacob, Mick. I actually enjoy the ones just as much. Did I tell Pete when he's not there as well? I think you keep it going. And I don't mean this in an insulting way, so I hope it doesn't come this way, but I feel you've got a very like giddy, childish kind of like energy, and it's such a great addition to the four of you when you're on as well.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I definitely would say in the team I'm the least, like, I don't know, I'm very giddy. Yeah, like it's probably a great way to describe it. Very, very giddy and very like, you know, just sort of like a Cheshire cat, like just sort of always just like I'm just up for anything. Like I've been up for anything. So yeah, it's good.
I think honestly, I think it's fantastic. I mean, you mentioned the videos. I was a little bit after you for getting into as I say, I didn't hate golf, but I didn't like golf until June 2020. So like I missed like the Mark Crossfield stuff, and I've seen a lot of me and my golf since, but I feel like Mark Crossfield's he's kind of off the radar now. So I was kind of, as you say, kind of the Rick and Pete stuff. But so like once you started so you've been with Pete since 2021, you mentioned. Obviously the experiences, I'm not going to ask you to like put a list into your top 5, but what's a couple of your like favorite experiences that you've got to do like since then, whether it be trips or courses you've got to go or people you've got to meet?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the first one that massively stands out quite a bit with me, Jacob and David. David's the brand. He's been on the podcast a couple of times. He's the brand manager. We were kind of Jacob and David were employed first, but COVID kind of happened, and they got sent home, and they were working from home and stuff like that. So the trips we didn't really do a lot of trips. And then I came in the April, and in the October we went to Abu Dhabi and Dubai for 3 weeks to do just a massive content like drop, basically, in terms of like, you know, we still do it now, where we go to these countries that have, warm weather, and we can, within a week, we can get like a fair few videos, just so that we're not relying on the UK weather at times, because that could be very, so we went to the to Abu Dhabi and Dubai to really get, I think it's around 15 videos at the time we were doing reviews. So we were doing some review videos, we were doing some coaching videos, and then also some playing videos as well. And it was just a real one of the videos that really stood out there was when we went to this golf course that hadn't even been opened yet. So we went. It wasn't open to the public yet, but we were able to go on there and do a video. So we did a video with the first people on there, and it was a 9-hole night golf experience, and it's called Yas Acres. Still, and it's open now, and it's I often see quite a lot of people go there. But we were doing some filming, and that night, and we had a really good filming session, and then at that time, the Muslim call to prayer came on, and it was just a really eye-opening experience of like I'd not been about really in terms of been to sort of places in Europe and stuff like that, on holidays and family holidays, but like it was just a real cultural experience in the sense of like, wow, we're actually doing this. This is a job. Like, we're out here in Abu Dhabi doing this job, and it was a really, really cool experience. And we got to film there, and we also got to play a couple of times. So it was great. It was a really, really fun experience. And then I really enjoy any time we go to Ireland is massive for me, because I've got a lot of family over there. My whole of my dad's side is Irish, so going there is always a special for me, and Scotland as well. Scotland, like seeing all those courses is just incredible.
Yeah, I actually love listening to you guys. Obviously, being Scottish up here, we're obviously very tribal when it comes to our own.
Yeah.
But it's lovely hearing you guys talk about it, like especially Pete again, like of all the courses he gets to play, like how highly he speaks about like the courses up here, and honestly, I think it's phenomenal. But yeah, like you talk about trips like that. When you get away, let's say you go away for 2 weeks, how much golf do you get to play yourself while you're away? Because obviously you are so busy. But
yeah, no, we don't get really. We honestly don't get to play a lot. Maybe if anything, we'll get one round, and then but the rest of the time we are there to, we're over there, especially if we go to like America or something like that. Like we're over there for sort of 10 to 12 days, and we're there to do a job. Like
that's it.
So I get to walk a lot of nice courses. But, yeah, I've walked Royal Troon 7 times. 7 times I've walked Royal Troon. I've never hit a shot. I know all the holes, and I could tell you the layout. But because we did a lot of filming around sort of the open time. And we were with Don Donald Links as like as a course ambassador. So we spent a lot of time in Scotland, and I absolutely loved it. Scotland is incredible. I love it.
Yeah, if we could get good weather, we've got the best country in the world. Like it really is. God. Like it's just a shame the weather sucks. But I'm going to come on to the editing side because obviously I'm the Wish version of the Rough Cut podcast, basically. But I mean, I know how long it takes me to, whether it be editing the podcast and editing the golf content that I make. But for yourselves, like we kind of alluded to it off air, like it is, as you say, a full-time job. When let's say you go away to America next week and film that round, how quickly do you start filming that? Do you do it while you're away, or because you don't always go together, do you? Some kind of you rotate it, whoever's going.
Yeah, some stay and some of us will go. I would say that an 18-hole one man, so just Pete playing, would take about 5 days. We'll take about 5 days to edit.
Yeah, that's mad. When you think, again, for anybody listening, when you think that you're a professional setup, you have done it so often as well, so like it'll become a little bit more of a habit. But when you're so organized and it still takes 5 days, like get like any of your friends who are making content, please just show them a little bit of love because there is that much work going into it.
Oh, massively, and it's in the world that it is now, you see sort of the other videos that are going out and stuff like that. So you just want to produce the best product possible in terms of like showing stuff, and we try and get as close to sort of TV coverage as possible, but making it a bit more, because I'd say that the TV coverage is great in terms of that you see a lot of shots, you see good graphics, and you see a lot of holes and stuff like that. So we just want it to be, like you're just watching a tour, like a tour event, but within 50 minutes, an hour long video. So.
I think I can't remember if I said it on the show or it was to you before. But that's why I much prefer YouTube golf over professional golf. And if I was to watch professional golf, I am more of a live fan than the PGA. Again, shorter timescale. Like live starts and finishes within 5.5, 6 hours. Whereas if you want to watch a full PGA event, unfortunately, you're talking, you need to be watching 12, 13 hours depending on where your favourites are teeing off. But how do you decide who's going where? Is it all Pete's choice, or are you all quite like agreeing amongst yourselves on like a little rota for you?
Yeah, I think that we have. So there's a couple of things with like, for example, Mick's got kids, and every other week got kids. So it's quite often the trips are sort of over 10, 12 days. So can be a little bit tricky for Mick. I would say at the moment, Jacob has kind of taken a little bit of a backseat in the video and editing side. He's doing more sort of organizing and securing us places and doing a great job of making us a bit more organized, which I definitely think that we need. We do, and this is no disrespect to Pete at all, but we did just need someone that was just giving us a little bit more. Just to take a little bit off his plate, so that he's necessarily, at the end of the day, our videos rely on sometimes his performance. So we want to make sure that he's the best golfer he can be. So having Jacob go in and do that is help him out a bit is great. So at the moment, it's me and another guy called Sam who are kind of really taking the trips on, which I'm loving. I will never turn down a trip. It's there's so many people that would love to do that, and I know that, and so I never ever take it for granted. So I know how lucky of a position that we're in. So
it's again, you all do a fantastic. It's not even like without each cog, it wouldn't be the same. You know what I mean? No matter who's doing what, it does take all of yous, and it just so happens the reason that guys even inviting you on is I love the fact you've all got a personality amongst it as well. It's the Pete show as such, but it's not, if you know what I mean. I love that all about it.
I think that was something that Pete was great at as well, in terms of that he wanted that as well. He wanted us, he knows how much of a job we do, and he wanted to make sure that people watching knew that we were a part of it and knew that we're this team, so we all so credit to Pete in that for sure. So we all have our quirks and stuff like that, so we're all different, and we come together to make this one product that is people love, and that's just the most best thing about content creation and filmmaking and everything, is just that we're actually producing content that people love to watch, and that's the most fulfilling thing possible.
Yeah, completely. A question on the podcast though: are we bringing back guest the player?
Well, it's that I don't know how long you've been watching the podcast, but I started that, and that was right at the start. But sort of Mick Mick's taken that over.
I know, but
I don't know. I mean, the only thing with Guess the Player is that we wanted everyone to be there. And sometimes it can be a little bit tricky in terms of we sometimes we're a bit all over the place and stuff like that. But I would very much like that to be back. So yeah, no, I will be definitely putting that.
Well, a suggestion from me, if you can make it work, is almost make it one episode and like 9 holes in one episode, and then you do another 9 in another one, and then like almost make it like even then a match play series with the 2 and the winner. Then I don't know. I made my own quiz and used kind of like the concept of it in amongst some of the questions, and had so much fun doing it. And again, I fully admit I stole it right from the show.
Yeah,
so.
I think that podcasts are, things like that are great. Because I do a lot of driving. I drive from Dorset to Manchester, which is around about a 5-hour drive.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, so there's a podcast called Takeaway Trivia, and it's just a 40 minute episode of like this pub quiz basically.
Yeah.
And I get through about 4 or 5 in a sitting, and the time flies.
Flies in.
Anything interactive like that is a big yes for me for podcasts for sure.
Yeah, podcasts have been great for me, like from doing them. And again, listen, I was never like a massive music person. Like I'll listen to it, but I would never say like I was a band lover or anything like that. And podcasts in the last 15 years, say, is pretty much what I consume my time. And I'm loving now that I work in an office, like having like everybody on video format now. I think it just makes such a difference. Content wise, is there anybody who you've not recorded with before, filmed with, that you'd love to have on?
Oh, I mean, there's definitely the big boys in terms of your Rorys, sort of Justin Thomas. Obviously, I mean, Tiger's like,
that's the one, isn't it? Yeah,
Tiger is just that is that would be unbelievable. But just some of the guys like Shane Lowry would love to have on. Brooks Koepka is another big one for me. Unpopular opinion.
You're a Brooks fan, yeah.
I'm a big Brooks fan, yeah. So him as well for sure.
So, like on YouTube Golf now, like just quickly. So, like you mentioned Shane Lowry there, which I'm quite surprised that he's not done more. He seems like the sort of personality who would enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And I do, and I do think like the resurgence of YouTube Golf has definitely helped Bryson, for example. Everybody's flipped on Bryson. I think John Ram is custom made for YouTube Golf. Like he's so good. Do you not wish? Like I think I hate TaylorMade as a brand. Just not for me. And again, I'm not a Rory fan because I always feel he comes across as quite whiny. Now, what I mean by that, do you not think he could really help? Because even in TaylorMade videos, I feel he's quite dry and almost kind of guarded, and he keeps himself away from you. He's quite critical of YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Do you not think he would help himself a little bit if he just relaxed and had some fun, even if it was like a 9-hole match with Tommy on Tommy's channel? He didn't have to come down, the Rick and Pete Avenue, but just with even fellow pros and just be a little bit more like enjoy golf a lot. You've just won you've won the Masters. You've got your Grand Slam. Just come and have some fun.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I think that he is definitely he's definitely quite a serious person.
Yeah,
I think I'd love to see him sort of when he's out of the limelight and out of the thing. I don't know what he'd be like, but I definitely think that he could do with sort of relaxing a little bit. Obviously, he was very vocal on Live. He was very vocal on the YouTube side of things because he just wants to protect the game. But does he do it sometimes? I think the Live thing he did right. Sometimes other things, I think he may also think that he probably didn't go about it correctly. But I think that he definitely, it would relax him a lot.
Completely. Yeah.
Seeing things like Tommy doing it now, like exactly like you said, Bryson, you see a completely different personality side of them.
Well, the person who like I probably flipped the most on, I was always kind of like I wouldn't say Bryson fan, but I was always fascinated because of like just the way he looked at golf. It always fascinated. But the person who I flipped on completely was actually Scotty Scheffler, because he always come across as quite serious and quite like formulaic. But then he did the video with Grant, and he was quite, he was really laid back. He was funny and he was chatting. And I'm like I just feel like if a golfer could do that once a year with someone, you don't have to do it every week. It's a lot of time. You're busy guys. You've got families. I get it. I just think like a lot of people love like the Formula One, dare to drive, whatever it is. And I don't for me the golf one didn't quite hit the same. I didn't think we kind of got the same behind, but I like hearing golfer stories, whether it be like obviously all the content creators, but Tommy is, I think everybody admits, is probably the nicest guy in the world. But John Ram, again, when you see his relationship with like Bryson and his videos with Grant, I feel they just come across. I just wish we got some, even Justin, you mentioned Justin Thomas actually. Justin Thomas's one with Grant probably gave me the greatest bit of YouTube content I'd seen in a while, when he spoke to the camera about the chipping at the end. And I'm like, that's what we need.
Yeah. It's you're exactly right. And like we see pros, we see the, obviously it's such a high pressure situation, and golf is one of those sports where it's tricky to really get a personality from someone, because they're so focused and trying to keep themselves calm, and they're locked in, and you think that they're just like, bit too serious on them, a bit too serious, and maybe hard to like sort of talk to, or like like to relate to. But like you say, exactly, just get them on an 18-hole course log, like all of those Grant videos with Scheffler. I have watched that. I've actually watched that Scheffler video 3 times now, it was just a lovely video, and seeing the best golfer in the world relaxed, and just seeing him up close like that was brilliant. So you're exactly right, and I wish there was more of it, and I wish Rory would do a blooming 18 holes with us, or do it with someone just to see him on a completely personal level, like
I mean, even like they've got like Tommy's right there. Like even if it was just with Tommy, he didn't have to come down to the content creator side. I feel the closest we got, he did obviously the one with Trotty. And it was, even then, it was only like a 1 hole that they did, like a 15-minute one. Maybe did 3 with Scotty as well, but it was still kind of, I don't know. Maybe Scotty's great when somebody's there to kind of guide the conversation, but whereas Tommy will talk nonsense. But I'd obviously the dream is to see him with like yourselves, or even like, I know it's not going to happen, but like I'd love Wes and Rory to get together, because Wes has got that infectious personality. Rory would either smack him in the head with a golf club, or it would be a really good conversation.
Literally, like Wes is brilliant for that, and like Wes is like massively close with John Rahm. So like you see that kind of, I think they've done a couple of videos before, but you see them bouncing off each other. Like we're watching. Obviously, Wes is a tour pro, but as a YouTube golfer with like one of the best golfers in the world, and we're watching him on a cart cam GoPro. Like, I just that's like one of the beautiful things about YouTube golf that I love, is just how personal it can be, and how like you can how you can get into and see a golfer sort of in that setting.
Yeah, last thing about sucking up to Pete, like I'm giving Wes all this praise about the infectious and the person. Pete might have one of the best personalities for a camera that there is, because he's quite self-deprecating on his cell, like when he's talking about himself. But he's got, I think it's just the UK humour. I love it when he goes over to the States with the other guys, and he's got that typical British humour. And Americans, some of them have not quite got the same humour, so I just find it funny. And I was just actually, I'd seen the video loads before, but because I'm going through YouTube, and it was he does a video with Wes and George, and they call it a double eagle. and like Pete's just outraged, and I'm like, yes, please. And it's funny because it's true, and I feel on buy-in. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm conscious of your time, so I have a little finisher, which I always do. A little this or that. So you're only allowed one answer for these next 10 questions.
God. Okay.
All right. So the Open or the Masters?
The Masters.
The Masters or the Ryder Cup?
Oh God. The Ryder Cup.
I'll ask the next one anyway. But the Old Course or Augusta?
The Old Course.
Good. You've redeemed yourself from not picking the Open. That's it.
Yeah. I can go into that just a little bit of like why I would say the Open over. Sorry, the Masters over the Open. I have been, we've done a lot of filming around the Open, and we've done a lot of stuff around the Open. And I love the Open, and we've been going to Prestwick where it all began, and seeing the belt and seeing everything. The history is incredible, and I love everything about the Open. But the Masters for me, my only reason for the Masters is because I don't know if it's because of it's just the start of the year. I love that, but also in this, and this is what I say to everyone, in this world where commercialization and all these things, where ticket prices hike up, when you're on the ground, the prices hike up for getting a drink, food, all this sort of stuff. The beauty of the Masters is genuinely one of those things in this digital world where it has just kept its absolute identity, and I love that. I absolutely love that side of things, and no phones on the course, no the only way you can find out about the score is through the leaderboard on the thing. Like, I just love that about it, and that's why I choose the Masters over the Open. But I do.
I mean, I'll shock you slightly. The Masters is my 4th major.
What? Oh my God! Go into it. Explain.
So for me, I think it's because I wasn't a golf fan when I was younger, and how I thought about golf for me, I don't like the elitistness of Augusta and the Masters. I don't like the white boiler suits on caddies. I don't like obviously the Masters is, well, Augusta's very artificial, as in like how well it is. So it's, for me, it comes across. But I do agree on I do like what you're saying about like the pricing structure. I kind of like the no phone thing, because I'm very much live in the moment type of person. Like when I take my kids to concerts, they only get to film like one song, because it really bugs me when you see people like the whole concert looking through their phone. So I do like certain things, but I think because of the rest, I always put it down.
No, that's also and I mean, the thing is that and that's a good thing, and maybe I'm too focused on that side of it, but the Open's great, and we've been to so many incredible open venues, and seeing the Open, and it is great. It's just from experiencing a couple of, I went to the St Andrews 150th, went to Royal Liverpool, Royal Troon, like, it's just when you get there, you just and this is like loads of events. It's just the money is insane.
Well, I went to the Live at GCB last year, and
I went 2 years ago.
It was. I think I spent £350 by the time I bought a Legion 13 jumper. It cost me £170. £170 for a hoodie. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, but then what can you do? Like when you, again, it's like supporting your football team. But okay, as a man who travels around the world, kind of watching golf, are you a links or a Parkland course?
Links.
First thing in the morning or not last thing at night, but after work if you're playing? Sunset or sunrise?
Sunrise.
So I always say this, but so I much prefer playing in sunrise, like if I want to go for it. But my favourite round of golf, which kind of contradicts it a little bit, is after work with three of your buddies and the sun's going down and it's really quiet. It's magical. But if I was ever choosing, it would be
I would completely agree with you as well. If you're on your own and you want to just get out and go, then I would definitely say in the morning. But yeah, if you've got 4 or 5 of your mates there, then absolutely that sort of. And I've had some of that, when we did a lot of filming in Dundonald Links, we'd often try and get out around about 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and we could still get 18 holes in because it gets, the light stays till like 11 in Scotland. It's amazing.
It's great, yeah.
And like seeing some of the sunsets and I will absolutely agree with that as well.
Yeah. Right. On a personal level, 18 pars or 9 birdies, then 9 bogeys.
9 birdies, 9 bogeys. I'm so. Oh no.
No, it's. I think it's just once I hit 18 pars for the first time, maybe it'll change. But I like sensible, boring golf.
Yeah, no, I only say that because the thing with that I relate that most to me in terms of like I relate that like I am a wild off the tee golfer.
Yeah.
So the getting in bad situations then.
Scrambling out.
Then getting myself slapping it around. But I actually yesterday, so I've been off for a couple of days. Yesterday I played 18 holes and I shot 2 over par. I was better on my home course at home, and I played pretty boring golf in terms of I actually was on the fairway most of the time, but not boring, but like what I mean. I was like, so I was luckily getting on the fairway and then getting on the green and having a lovely stress-free round. It was really like I was going round and in my head I was like, what's going on here? Right, I didn't know how to act at points. Like I was a bit like, this is going all right. This is going really, really well. So but no, I'll take it. I'll take either. I'll take either. You're 18 pars, you?
Yeah. So I mean, there's 3 ways you can look. So I'll always be 18 pars. But if you could offer me 9 bogeys and then 9 birdies, right, I'll take that because then you've redeemed yourself. But if I was 9 under after 9 holes and then finished level par, I think my clubs would be off a bridge. And if it wasn't the clubs, it would be myself. So I don't think I could hack that. But chipping in or sinking a nice long slippery putt?
Chipping in.
What about for camera? What do you prefer?
Chipping is always it always seems to do a bit better, like because it just from a montage point of view.
Yeah,
we can that intro. You can already see the intro as soon as a chip goes in. But a chip for sure.
Yeah. Buggy, trolley, or walking the course.
Walking.
Like carry your bag. You carry bag, man.
Oh, carry bag. Walk in the course, and and if it's in the evening with some beers, and absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a trolley guy. I walk. I don't like taking a buggy unless we're filming and we want to get it done quick and we're not holding the course. But I like to walk the course because it kind of defeats the purpose. If not, I'm not a carry bag kind of guy. I'm not going to lie, but
that's one of the things with America is that in America, there are very, very few courses where you can not walk. Like, am I saying that right? That like a lot of it's all cart. Like
it's all cart. Yeah.
So, there's very few places that you will walk, which is a bit like you see the course in a different way. It's a weird like Whereas I just love walk. I love walking. I love that. It obviously can take a bit longer, but not that much longer. Like
it's not really. I like the time in between my shots. Like I like sometimes just jumping on my phone for 2 minutes while you're take your mind off golf. Almost like either jump on YouTube or like scroll TikTok or Instagram sort of thing, and almost just take away, especially if you've hit a bad shot or and you're just waiting. You can just almost switch off and.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm exactly the same.
And lastly, let's go with Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus then.
Tiger Woods.
Do you want to give you I'm going to give you my last controversial take of the show though. I think Rory McIlroy, as much as I dislike him, is a better golfer ability wise than Tiger Woods. This is my hill. I think I think Tiger is a better golfer because he has a much better mentality.
Yeah.
But I think if you swap Tiger's mentality for Rory's mentality, I think Tiger doesn't win near as much as what Rory would.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
I think technically Rory is just special.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say he's one of the best to ever drive the golf ball. Like I think he's just like the ball striking, the driver is just unbelievable. Like it's just I've been lucky enough to stand kind of 8 feet at a driving range at Wentworth and watching him behind, and it's just like you just look at it and it's just the ball flight. The ball flight is something that you just can't recreate. It's like it's a weird flight. It's just so piercing, but like rises up. Oh, it's just I remember. It's just like how I can't produce that.
So I've only ever been to one golf event, and it was the Live one at JCB last year. And so obviously getting up close to these guys and hitting a ball. So obviously like we've all played with really good golfers, and obviously yourself with Pete and stuff. But when these guys hit a ball, it just sounds different. Do you ever get used to that? Like even footballers, I've been lucky enough to play decent, and I've been close to pros. There's nothing I've ever seen a pro do, bar like the exception, that I know I can't do. What I can't do is do it on command. And I watch these golfers do. I know it doesn't matter how long I practice, I'll never do what they do.
Yeah.
Does it ever become normal for yourself just watching when you get up close to these guys?
I don't think that I'll ever like not appreciate watching someone strike a golf ball. Like it, the sound is different. The flight is different. Everything about it is just. It's just incredible. It's great. It's great to watch. And as an absolute golf lover, like I would never ever get bored of that. And seeing the different flights, seeing how different pros play it, because there's definitely some tour pros that you watch that hit such a low ball flight, and then you see other pros that will be hitting these massive high in the air flights that either you can't it's so hard to recreate. And I just really appreciate it. So I'll never ever get bored of it. So it's one of the amazing perks of watching, the players that we get on and some of the events that we get to go to. Seeing these players hit a golf ball is just amazing.
Yeah, I see. This is your giddiness that I love. Just hearing you talk about it. One for yourself. You're invited to play in a scramble tomorrow, and you can have 3 guests that have been on the Pete's channel. Any 3 people. What 3 are you taking to be on your team?
So the Pete's that we've had on. So Podrick Harrington, number 1. We've had Lee Westwood on, so Lee Westwood's going to be on there. He had some incredible stories about the Ryder Cup and about his, he's a bit of a controversial golfer since he's joined Liv, and he's a bit outspoken. But I grew up watching him as well, so watching him was really great. And a third one. Does it have to be a pro?
No, anybody who's been on the channel.
I would say Wes.
Wes. I mean, Wes is technically still
yeah.
up.
Wes is, yeah. Wes is, yeah. I suppose, yeah. Wes is Wes to bring everything. Wes would just bring the vibes and everything.
I'm glad you mentioned Padraig Harrington, actually, because I totally slipped my mind, but that might be one of my favourite videos that Pete actually done. And I feel it almost triggered Pete to change his mentality, that video, because I remember the almost the clip so vividly. Basically, Padraig Harrington like almost kind of spoke to him like you would speak to your child, because Pete was being really hard on himself, and he's like I can't remember the exact terminology, but he was like, "What do you think you're better than me? That you're too good to hit bad shots?" Like, and it was like, I remember just showing everybody for about 2 weeks after that this little clip, because we all play with golfers who get really angry at hitting bad shot, and I remember just telling everybody this clip, and this is like Padraig Harrington, you know what I mean, like everything he's won, Masters winner and major winner, and he's telling Pete like basically get a grip, and I'm saying this to these guys, and I don't know, it just, that one clip really stood out to me more than on a serious level. There's been much more enjoyable clips, but that one bit was just so good.
It was absolute. It was, massive for him, because he was like, I've just had he basically told him off a little bit. Like, he basically told him off, and to have a 3-time major champion, like, and an absolute hero of Pete as well. Turn around and blatantly on camera, and then even when we sat down, that wasn't all for show. When we sat down and we had a chat, like even when we were off camera, like, he was saying that this, you can't get annoyed. You can't. You have to. No one. You're not going to hit a great shot every single time. No matter how good you are. You're not always going to do it, and it was a real eye opener. Yeah, it was like basically saying, like, are you so arrogant that you think that you can't hit a bad shot? Like, it was just brilliant to film that. It was brilliant to be with him. It was brilliant it was just crazy. It was just like, sat down having a leek and potato soup after the round, and he's right there in front of me. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it's crazy.
I could only imagine. I mean, like, obviously Pete will feel similar, but it's a borderline imposter syndrome. You know what I mean, when you're around these guys. But yeah, honestly, that clip, and fair play to Pete and you guys for even including it, because I reckon there's certain creators, I'm not going to mention any names, who would 100% cut that part out.
Yeah,
because it could technically make them look bad in a way.
Yeah.
So I think that says a lot about Pete's character as well.
I think he's definitely like. I edited that video, and I think that it was. I think I included it in the intro.
I think
I included it in the intro. It was because he spent. Our big thing is that professional golf is what we want to try and showcase, that kind of local PGA Tour level, and then obviously we're trying to get into the Open, and to have people like that give advice, and to have that is just exactly the document journey that we want to show, and I think he's definitely taken on that mentality for sure, of the trust the process, forget about. He's just focused now on one shot. So and I these things that we film and edit, like, I take into my own game. That I've never been a particularly massively angry golfer anyway. Like, because I know that I don't have a very technically great golf swing. I just kind of make it work, and I've sort of homegrown it, So I know that I've never, I know where my weakness is for sure. It's just great it's great to see, and taking each shot as it comes, and just focusing on that one shot has massively helped Pete. and helped me with my own game as well.
I mean, yeah, it's something you don't even actually think about. Like, obviously, you're taking all these little bit of nuggets of information as you're going on, even if you don't deliberately do it. That subconscious is there. You mentioned open qualifying there, obviously, and Pete's obviously doing both this year. Obviously, the UK and the US one. How do you think they're going to go? Because he comes so close last year. Like, I genuinely thought he was going to do it. He was in such good form, going into that final round as well.
It's so he's had a little bit of a shoulder injury, but he's massively getting back into. He's really grinding behind the scenes, in the sim and all this sort of stuff. Like really trying to hone in on it because he had a couple of weeks off and he's got a few personal things going on as well.
Yeah.
So it's balancing that is tricky. But he's really motivated to do well, and he's excited to go again. I think final qualifying was a massive eye opener, and it was great for us in terms of that he got through regional qualifying last year. It was great for the journey. It was great to showcase that. But then when we got to final qualifying, it was a tour event. It was literally basically a tour event, and I basically said that, and speaking to everyone here, like I was thinking this at the time, even when I'm not filming, I absolutely recommend you go to final qualifying. Final qualifying at your local event every year because it is fantastic. Like it is completely free to enter. Completely free to go and watch. You can be so close to anyone you want to see. So this year, Lee Westwood was at final qualifying at Dundonald, and he won.
Was he? I didn't know.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of some of the big names. So Lee Westwood was there. Cabrera Bay was there. Like a fair, like loads of tour pros were there.
Yeah.
Thomas Dietrich potentially was there, but you've got all these amazing names. Obviously, Lee Westwood being the big one, and he won it. He won it at Dundonald Links. So just to go and it's 36 holes, so it's a long day, but to go and be that close, there's no ropes, so to be that close to some of these pros is just amazing, and it was great to watch. And it was great to be at that event. And I think Pete now knows what his next steps are. I think that Pete, knows that get through regional qualifying, great, but then as soon as you're in final, final is where it really does, really kick off.
Yeah.
So
again, people forget how many you mentioned, like Lee Westwood. Obviously, Ian Poulter was in one. I think was it last year or the year before that Sergio won his qualifying. I'm pretty sure I've seen that somewhere a couple of years ago. And like when you look at these players,
Justin. I was going to say Justin Rose at Bernabeu to get into Royal Troon, and then at Royal Troon he came second, I think. So
it's mad, isn't it? And that's where Pete obviously just shows that he's capable of that level, when he's putting in, because I mean there was only a few silly shots from him, or what I would class as silly. Like he might not see it that way. Like there was it wasn't the best putting display from him in a couple of holes, but like I just love, again, I always say, like if I could be anybody, it's Pete. Like as I say, swapping the clubs to match him and all that sort of stuff. But obviously the US Open this year, how do you think that one's going to go? I like, obviously the UK one he's kind of shown, but it's obviously it's almost like a different school of fish over there.
It's gonna be different. It's looking forward to doing the regional. Obviously, like there are so many, like the college golf scene over there was an absolute eye-opening experience, in the sense of that college golf is a massive thing over there. Like in the, and everyone, all the people know who's in the colleges of the golf. Like I don't know who's in Lincoln University playing golf. Like I have no idea who's in Glasgow University playing golf at the moment. Like people know about, and that's not just golf. That's NFL, that's baseball, all this stuff. Which really, that is something I do really like about America, and that sport side of it is massive. So I think the competition even from a regional perspective, and that's no disrespect to over here, there is just genuinely more of them over there, and like there is just more golf. There's just more people and more people to be really good at golf over there. So I think the regionals are going to be really, really tough. But looking forward to it, and I think that he's definitely capable. I think he'll be really nervous about playing the US because it's different. He's done open qualifying for a long time now, and he's done he knows the game a little bit there, whereas this is a whole new kettle of fish, and it's a whole new thing. So we're excited to go film it. That's in April, I think, the end of April.
Okay.
So that's for the US qualifying, and then so it's the same structure in terms of regional and then into final.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think if he gets his game in gear, I think he's got every chance of doing it.
I agree, again, without like kissing ass. Like when he's on it off the tee, it's such an advantage over pretty much most people that he'll play with, because he's so good when it's on. It's elite. And he is the self-proclaimed best putter in the world. So he just needs to sort the middle part out.
It is getting a little bit annoyed in the headphones when I'm listening to it, editing. But like he is genuinely, and I would say before, going back a couple of years ago, his putting was, I think, his worst part of his game. But getting a lesson from Phil Kenyon, getting a lesson from these people that are massive in the game, to look at his putting has massively helped. And he's really I would even now say it's completely flipped, and I'd say that's the best part of his game. So
it's just steady. It's very very rarely is he free putting, and you think of the courses and greens that he's playing on. That's another thing. I think, like, anybody who is like negative towards like I'm using Pete and Rick because they're UK based, but anyone who has people need to remember the type of courses that they're playing on. They're not playing at your standard council and local course that's slow. You're playing on some of the best greens in the world and the hardest tee boxes and stuff. Last thing before I let you go, the internet invitational. Were any of you guys over, or was it just Pete on his own because they were filming it? None of us were there.
He just went on his own for that. And it was just on his own.
Is there, I don't know if you can say even he is, obviously we all know there's a second one. Is there a Pete invite?
There is. There is an invite, yes.
Right.
And he's going to be doing it.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a really cool experience. And I think that I'd be interested to see what happens this year in terms of, last year was just mental. And I have never had so many people come up to me, and sort of even friends and come up to me and say that, like, I watched it. It was great. It was great TV. And it would be really interesting to kind of see what comes of it. I think that it was a real success, and we got success off being in it. Pete kind of went pretty far in it. Got a bit unlucky with his partners a little bit, and with the putting of the others. But he could have really got and progressed there. But no, it should be. I think it'd be a really cool experience, and I think that it's a real things like that are things that are going to grow the game, and it's things that are going to increase our kind of our kind of like name a little bit. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's the one thing I'm probably not surprised at coming off the back that it kind of helped grow like Pete and you guys like a little bit more, because I was so surprised. But again, because we're in a bubble of the UK, like Pete and Rick are the guys to us. It was mad how many people like were shocked at how good Pete was. Like when you heard them talking about him, like when he was playing, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, like you're meant to be into, and that was probably my negative side. I'm like, wait a minute, you're meant to be into content creation and YouTube golf. Like, how do you not know Pete can hit a ball? Like of all things, but that's good. I'm glad the invite is there, because I was kind of worried that we're maybe going to come away from the UK guys and kind of stick to the more drama side of things. But
I hope I think I hope it's going to be as successful as last year. I think it will be a very successful thing. But it should be really, really, really good, and things like that, like anything to kind of spread like Pete did really well out of it, and kind of going back to what you were saying earlier in terms of like his sort of humor.
Perfect for it.
In a bunch full of Americans, having Pete and Rick was only in it for kind of one episode, wasn't he? Because of the whole thing. But like, that side of it in terms of, having Pete's humor in there really helps grow him. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm glad it come across. Do you think we'll ever see something similar in the UK? Like,
I would definitely. I'd love to. I mean, I say this coming from. I mean, I have no time or anything. I have no time or anything to do anything like that. But like, if I had the time, I would absolutely vouch for it being in the UK and us organising something like that. I think it's definitely sometimes something that America is good at, isn't it? It's just
they're very good at it. Yeah,
they just get things like this done, and they just they do it and organize it and get it there, and it does require sponsorships. It does require these big companies and all this sort of stuff. I mean, I can't fully remember the whole Barstool input in terms of money, but it needs that kind of injection to really make it, and someone to grab it and just really say, right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to produce this. So I would love to. I would love it to be here, but just from a scale point of view, I just don't know if it would be possible. But
it's the one thing Americans do, as you say. The sponsorship, I feel they're really good. Companies buy in loads to them, but I feel the American content creators are very much better at collaborations as well. Like I feel it's almost second nature to them to go and, like, I mean, Bob from Bob Dub Sports is kind of taken over the world right now. He's collaborating with everybody, but I feel like all the different content you see it every second, and again the weather helps. Whereas you're like traveling from like London to Manchester is not always the greatest to play in a grey Sunday morning.
It's they do have a lot of advantages for sure, and we've definitely, Pete and us have definitely. I mean, all of our content now mainly comes from the US, and and all the collabs we do. So it's very tricky. We have to travel. It's a day travel for us, whereas for them it's a 3-hour flight, 2-hour flight, and they're there and they can film and they could probably go back the same day. Whereas for us, it is a thing that we have to do. I mean, we're going to America again on Monday. And filming with a couple of the guys again, and that's our third trip in 3 months. So it's we have to. This is what we have to do to kind of keep up with, with the collabs and everything like that. Like it's there's pros and cons for it for sure. Like I love the travel is great. I've just my girlfriend's moved up with me in Manchester, and me being there as much as I've not been there as much as I'd like, but I will never say no to a trip. I will always want to go and always want to do the best job. So yeah.
Well, I hope you don't ever say no to them, because as I say, you add a lot to the videos, you add a lot to the podcast. Thank you very much for giving me some of your time today, buddy.
Ali,
it means so much.
Yeah, no, and it's great to it's a massive inspiration to see people like yourself doing it, and it is a real grind. But if you're having fun, and it's such a great thing, and even if there's just one person that from some of your stuff like just takes away something good from it, like that's the best feeling ever. Like if someone's watched your content and they've loved it and they'll take something away from it, then you can't do that. That's the feeling that I love is that.
Well, that's it. I mean, as I say, you guys have done that for me, and I can only hope that through the podcast, through videos, through my social media, somebody's watched it and said, you know what, I'm going to pick up a golf club, and that's the chain reaction we all want. And
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, buddy. Anybody listening at home, I'm pretty sure you already follow and subscribe to the podcast. But if you don't, the Rough Cut Podcast, the Peter Finch's channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, give Kieran a follow on socials as well, and make sure you like and subscribe my stuff. Again, Kieran, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, for having me.
Thank you at home for listening, and of course, we shall see you next week.